Hi, my name is Shari Doherty, and I'm a 54-year-old lady in red, in Act 2 of my career and living my best life. My perspective on life and behaviors have been governed by who I was as a child, who I became, and who I am still striving to be. People my age are beautiful, bold, confident, and full of wisdom, and truly, the encore of the story of your life is still when the best songs are yet to be sung. My mission in this podcast is to shine the spotlight on people like me, have real conversations about reinvention stories, and inspire you to continue to follow your dreams regardless of your age. I'm doing it for Daisy. Who are you doing it for? Good day and welcome to today's episode of the Encore Podcast. Today I have Annette Gencarelli with me, and she will be sharing her story of her evolution with us. She is a new friend, and I'm excited to have been introduced to her through another mutual friend. She's beautiful, she's glowing, she actually has an amazing tan right now, so she's already living the life that I want, where she's able to go south for the winter. I want to hear how we get there. Maybe we can all learn from you. So welcome to the podcast, Annette.
Thank you very much, Shari. And it's an honor to be asked. And I'm so glad that a mutual friend had introduced us. And it really seems like a great fit to be here. And I'm always excited to share my personal journey. And remember, that is my journey. But hopefully there are some tidbits that you can get from this that you can apply to your own. Just a little bit about myself. I'm a Kingstonian.
Right. We all love Kingston.
Born, raised. I'm 63, just turned 63 a couple months ago, and I have two beautiful children. I've been married for 41 years.
Wow, congratulations.
I have two grandbabies and one on the way, and living my best life.
I love that.
So that didn't happen overnight. There was a lot of adversity and lots of changes, and, married young, a full-time job that I hated, and taking that step out of my comfort zone was very fearful. And at 26, wanting to be home with my babies more so than having all of my hours at a full-time job where I would come home and just be really miserable. And that is always spilled out to your family as well. So the opportunity to go into direct sales was a scary one because I tried two other companies prior to Aloette and they failed. So I already had in my mind, I can't do this. I'm not a salesperson. And it really proved me wrong because I had a bad skin condition that I was telling you about, Shari, that I had cystic adult acne. And it did clear that condition up. And that made me a believer of the product. And I really believe that, there has to be a couple of things that happen to make us step into a different unknown in our lives. And number one being that you believe.
Right.
In your product or what you're doing. So your belief has to be stronger than all the other little voices around you and all the other opinions around you. Because as a young mom at 26, you're quite vulnerable to others' opinions. And if I would have listened to that, I would have never ventured out into the world of the beauty industry because I didn't feel myself at 26, as a beauty consultant, have that image. So there was lots of, little voices going on that you really had to push those aside and feel the fear and do it anyways. And there's a great book on that as well. And I am a reader, as reading lots of motivation and inspirational stories, because that's what really helps to keep me today as excited about what I do as I did 37 years ago.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, you definitely are someone who demonstrates loyalty. So you're saying you've been in the same employment for 37 years and now a business owner with the same man for more than 40 years. So good for you. You are the poster child for loyalty. I have so much respect for that. And just for the listeners' context, you're talking about, stepping into a fully commissioned sales job, I imagine at the time. And for perspective, you were walking away from a government job.
Yes, I hear my dad, God love him, he's watching up above at me right now, but he would say, you're going to peddle cosmetics to leave a government job?
Right.
So that came from someone dear who you love. So yeah, it was just the desire to get out of something that was just not filling any needs. And yes, it was bringing in a paycheck, but there was no purpose
Right.
there. And, I really never knew what purpose or passion was at 26.
Oh, you're still trying to figure out who you are at 26.
Absolutely. So that was something I never knew. And to get out of a negative cesspool, working with lots of women who also hate their jobs was something that I really needed to, just for my own mental health,
Right.
get out.
And that was at a time where we weren't talking about mental health. So good for you for being ahead of the curve and being bold enough to walk away. And obviously good for your husband for being supportive to let you and take the leap with you, which is...
And to make the decision to then be more present for my children's life was the biggest thing back then. And, your values change, as you know, Shari, when you become a mom.
Oh, absolutely.
And even as a Nana now, you drop everything when the grandbabies need you. And to be able to do that still. So a lot has happened, from that 26-year-old to who I am today. But the things that still remain very strong are the freedom and the flexibility to work your own schedule and to be the entrepreneur that you want to be. And I think we all want that. The financial independence as well has to be there. So those are like the 3 F's, freedom, flexibility, and financial independence.
Oh, those are good. I might use that. So tell us about your building the business years. I'm sure it wasn't the easiest or smoothest road.
No.
So share, if you will, about how you built your business.
Absolutely. Well, back in the day, there was lots of home parties that went on. And, there was lots of people that would open their homes and have the ladies over. And basically, I would come and demonstrate products. And it would mean pounding the pavement and doing that at night. But then my husband, we would tag team. He would come home from work, dinner would be on the table, and I'd be out the door with my kit and a way to make some money. And you're talking, 3 or 4 times a week, but then weekends were free, daytimes were free to be with my loved ones, to be with our kids.
Right.
And that was the most important thing. But yeah, it wasn't easy for sure. And, you really had to Teflon coat yourself to not let the rejection get to you, because you do hear lots of no's.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll hear 21 no's before you hear 1 yes.
Oh, I sell houses. I know. More people say no than say yes. So I understand.
So you have to be tough-skinned, and you have to learn to not let that hurt, as far as I would say, you spray the Teflon coat every day on, and just know that your mission is something that you feel valuable. And when I had a skin condition as severe as I had to be cleared up, I thought, if this helped me, it's going to help a lot of people. And that really carried the belief and passion. When a rejection came, I just kept saying yes. The next one's going to say yes.
Yep.
And incentive trips were something that I always worked towards. I am an achiever. And I think anytime someone has a goal, which I didn't even know how to set a goal prior to getting into this venture. I mean, it taught me a lot of things to set a goal and to really go for it. And when carrots were dangled in front of me, I was like going for them for sure. So that really kept things alive as well. When you know that you can make a difference in people's lives, and then when I started team building and having, others join, and then, just being a teacher and a mentor to them and helping inspire them to their greatness. It had nothing to do with me then. Yes, maybe I was the example. They always say the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack, but then just really tapping into their why and what they want out of the business. And that would be something that I really took on, their goals as mine, and really help them strive towards those and achieve them. And that's probably the biggest thing right now that I can say still keeps me excited.
Right. We'll get to this, but it's interesting because you made your big pivot and took your leap of faith very early in life. As we speak about, typically it's a midpoint, and you did that at your quarter point almost. I know you've also shared with me before we were recording that, you did hit another moment of truth where you were reevaluating around the midpoint, 50-55. And I want to come back to that. Along the way, though, didn't your husband jump into the business with you?
Yeah. So 18 months in, I quit my full-time job. 3 years after that, we were able to purchase and be franchise owners. And then at the 5-year point where things were growing quickly, he quit his full-time job and jumped in
That's
as well as the
amazing.
director of operations. And he still is today. So not only are we married for 41 years, we've been, working together in the business for a long time as well. But one thing I have to say, Shari, he stays in his sandbox and I stay in my sandbox.
Oh, good. Okay. That's good. I actually did interview someone previously who is a business coach for couples in business together. So if you ever need an introduction, I'll let you know. But it sounds like you have it together pretty well.
Yeah.
But there are definitely unique things about sharing a business with someone as well as a life, because whatever frustrations you have at the office, they're going to spill over into your home life and vice versa. It's not a whole different set of people that you interact with every day.
That's right.
And so it definitely comes with interesting nuances.
Yeah.
But it seems like you guys have found the magic to make it work.
Yeah, we definitely have. And I don't know if you want me to already talk about when I was, 55, because that wasn't too long ago.
Sure, go ahead.
I really felt at that point I would like to pass on the torch.
Okay.
And have somebody else, maybe a young mom struggling where I was at that point, take over and buy the business. And we looked and searched and really put it out there that that's what we were looking to do. And it didn't happen. So after 2 years of really searching and asking, and I mean, the thing is, you do have to, some people say, okay, this isn't for me. I don't know if it's going to be a fit for me. I hear that so much without them even trying.
Right.
As long as you like people, and you really, have that integrity of following through on your word, I find is a big thing when you're definitely in business. And it's a really selfless position to be at because it's not about me.
Yeah.
It's really about the team. So I think that sometimes can be scary. But the good Lord obviously didn't have that in my plans
Right.
at
Okay.
that time. So we have been able to work anywhere. COVID actually fast forwarded things for us in the business because people were kind of afraid of the online still, and shopping online were done by maybe the younger generation, but not my age group.
Right.
So it really kind of fast forwarded that for people. And we now, in the last, 5-6 years, have been able to travel anywhere in the world and still keep connected with our team and with our people, which is wonderful.
That's fantastic. That also, I shared, is the dream for me, the goal.
Yeah.
I want to work 8 months and make 12 months worth of money.
That's right.
That's
And
my
I think
goal.
that lots of people in the 55 plus age group want that. But I also know too, if you've taken an early retirement, and I have some ladies in that age group that are now with the business and doing the business because they want to find that purpose and passion and find something to do. When you're learning about the products and then taking that knowledge and helping someone get on a skincare routine, or you're doing someone's makeup per se, it's like you're creating a masterpiece. It's just beautiful to see the transformation. And it's also very beautiful to see how they feel and the confidence boost that it quite often gives women.
Right.
Because pampering is something we don't do enough. The little bit of TLC and self-care is sometimes when you're busy, you tend to put that on the back burner. But really, you do need it to give and be full yourself, to be able to give more of yourself.
I tell a story that, and it's 100% true, for my own mental health, even during the height of the pandemic days, every day I put on a face of makeup. And literally, it was because something needed to feel normal, and I needed to feel like I might go out or someone might come over, and I wouldn't want them to catch me without my makeup, which I've gotten more comfortable with that. I've gotten more confident, but it just was something that helped me stay okay. And it is definitely about your confidence and how you feel about yourself. And it was for me more than anyone else.
Yeah.
My husband and my kids who were isolating with me couldn't care less if I washed my hair or put on lipstick, but Shari cared.
Yeah.
It just made me feel like myself. So it was a little bit
Absolutely.
of something. And you get to give that to people to make them feel their best selves.
Absolutely. It is a gift, and you look awesome.
Thank you.
And the pride of your appearance as a man or a woman, I think is so important. Because
Absolutely.
it's how you see yourself, and it's how the world sees you as well. So I think it's really important to do your best, to put your best foot forward. And it doesn't take a lot of work to do that.
Yeah, I don't
It's not-
spend a ton of time. I mean, I
No.
do spend time, and if I have to get up extra half an hour early to make sure that I'm properly groomed, I'm willing to do that. That's
Yeah.
fine, because I do want to put a certain face forward to the world every day and for myself and my own confidence, which is lovely.
Yeah.
So you are 55, where we were in the story, and you were thinking about wrapping up and selling the business so you could pass the torch, and that was not in the plan. And you're still a few years in, but I can tell, and we've talked about that you still have your fire lit for it, and a lot through building other people. And I do feel like there's a point right now where I don't know if it's a responsibility or it's something we want to do, but I want to share my wisdom and my experience with other people. And that's partly why we're doing this podcast itself, is to, let people know that you'll be okay. And there is
right.
another side of everything, and that, my even being here today was an answered prayer. I mean, I sat under a tree and cried, and here we are now 5 years later, and I'm pretty awesome. I feel great. Life is
Yeah.
good, but, you had to hit the bottom to
Yeah.
get back up again.
Absolutely.
What does your future self look like?
That's a good question.
Okay.
Let me think about that. You know what? I don't have a clear vision of that right now. As far as, what I would say, truthfully, I could keep doing this for maybe another 5 years.
Okay.
I don't know if that is the plans for me, but in my heart, and as well as I feel, and the passion that I have is still burning inside.
Right.
So when that passion goes out or is flickering, then I'm going to know that it's time. And I believe there's a time for everything. I really feel now that there's still lots of women struggling to make a decision, to make a change, and they are fearful. And whether you're a young mom listening to this, or you are 55 plus and you're just not feeling fulfilled, then do something to take some action steps. It's
Yeah.
always making a decision. First of all, having the desire. I always say, even when we book a trip, we have a desire to go somewhere. We have a desire for a better life. But then sometimes we sit in that desire stage forever. We don't make the decision.
We have to take action.
You have to make a decision. I'm going to go away in August. And then you have to look at the details. How am I going to get there? How am I going to plan that? And then you got to put it in drive.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I always teach the 4 Ds.
Okay, and those are?
Well, there's first the desire, decision, there's details, and then you got to put it in drive.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
So the action steps where so many people fail and they just don't put it into drive. They talk about it, they think about it, they want it, but the do it is missing. So sometimes you've got to do a bunch of different things to find out really what you like or you don't like.
Yeah, it is like try a bunch of things.
Try a bunch of things. Real estate might not be for everyone. Sales, women have this concept sometimes in their head that what is a salesperson? Do I have to be pushy? Do I have to always be that person that, gosh, if someone sees me, they're going to walk the other way,
Right,
you
yeah.
know? When you're talking a cosmetics business, women especially do not want to be sold. You have to give them the knowledge and the details of how this is going to benefit them. But then it's very soft. It's a soft sell. Either they're going to take it or they're not. And
Yeah.
then you step away.
Yeah.
So,
I heard it said recently that no one wants to be sold to,
right?
but they all like to shop with friends.
yes.
And it's so true. And
You're
I
a-
am the least pushy salesperson there is. I'm probably not a great salesperson, but
Yeah.
I'm a great friend to go shopping for houses with. And I'm
Absolutely.
fun, and it'll be a great experience. And when we land on the right one for you, then I'll be right there making it happen for you and managing the logistics of that. But you're right. People don't want to be sold
Absolutely.
anything, particularly in this day and age.
Yeah, for sure.
So we didn't cover too much other than that you grew up in Kingston. Very quickly, was your childhood good? Is this what you imagined your life was going to look like? Or what was your little girl persona like?
I wanted to be an airline stewardess.
Oh, okay. I could see that.
Could you?
You still have that presence. Yep.
Okay. That was the goal. That was the dream. After high school was to go to Toronto to college and to get my airline stewardess. And my dad wouldn't let me.
Okay, interesting.
Okay, so yeah, being the eldest of 3 girls, Yeah. And you know what? That was obviously a good thing now when I look back at it. Alouette's taken me to so many places. And now I look at those airline stewardesses and think, no, I'm really glad I didn't go that route.
Right.
But I have always had the desire, even, young, to travel. And
Right.
geography was always a very strong subject in high school.
Right. And I
So,
know you're living that now because when we first met, you were sharing that you've just been away
yeah,
for a couple months and you have more trips planned. So you're definitely living your best life.
that's right. Yeah.
I have my mantra, which keeps me going every day, and that I've shared with people, my listeners, that it is, doing it for Daisy. I know you have a life passage as well that you would like to share, which is your reminder for how you conduct yourself. Do you want to go ahead and share that with us?
Sure, I'd love to. Yeah, so I've had this sitting on my desk for a long time, and I really do believe in this mantra. Life is not a dress rehearsal. Put your best foot forward every day. Look for opportunities because they're everywhere. Connect with people, develop a fine reputation and live up to it. Become a referral source. Build business by building people. Live with passion, enthusiasm, and joy. Now is the only time that truly matters. Remember, when you give, you get, so give a lot. Choose to focus on what you want. Dream big. An abundant world is yours to enjoy. Believe in yourself, grow, prosper, and pass it on.
That's beautiful. I think that's a great place to land. I love the message and thank you so much for sharing it. If anyone wanted to check in with you or connect, where would they find you?
They would find me on Aloette, Eastern Ontario. They could email me
Okay.
at Aloette, ALOETTE, at kingston.net. You can find me on Aloette, Eastern Ontario, and those are probably the two best ways to
Okay.
reach out.
Well-
And I want to thank you for this time. I just wanted to say that filling yourself up every day is such an important part of who I am today, and even as a young mom. And whether that's devotion or journal or just reading, or now I listen to lots of podcasts while I'm doing my walk. So whatever that is, find something that fills yourself up every single day.
That's beautiful. I'm very much the same person. I start all of my mornings with a podcast
Yep.
and uplifting and motivational music.
Yes.
That's what I do while I'm getting ready in the
Yeah,
morning.
that's great.
All right. Well, thank you again for being here.
I love it.
truly
Thank
enjoyed our conversation, and I am enjoying as well our newfound friendship.